Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be playing some Jund with Shattergang Brothers. As usual, I'm missing some of the more expensive cards like Kolaghan's Command that you would really want in a deck like this, but it's still pretty interesting and fun. I like Shattergang Brothers a lot since it's just very versatile, deals with a lot of problems, and it has some sweet synergies with stuff in here, so we're just going to hop into some games and see how it goes. And it looks like I was able to find a game in the tournament practice room, so hopefully we'll have some nice competition here. Being on the draw against Thrasios Tymna, one of the better partners decks, and I have an unkeepable hand of one land and a bunch of stuff, so I'm going to have to mulligan that. This seems fine, can deal with an early Tymna, and has some fodder for Shattergang Brothers, I'll keep that. Pyromancer, seems like a fine addition here. Alright, opponent leads with a tapped land rather than the potential mana dork start that Tymna is kind of best at. Looks like maybe a turn 2 Thrasios. Yep, trying to lead into a turn 2 attack with Tymna, or rather turn 3 attack and get value with Tymna, so I'm going to hold up Bolt for that. And hopefully Garrick will be able to clean up the mess afterwards. Let's see, Abundant Growth on Watery Grave, that's kind of interesting. That indicates that this is probably an Enchantress deck, since in a deck with a really good mana base, Abundant Growth kind of just draws you a card and doesn't do anything else. And we see Corrosive Verge. Alright, so it does look like some kind of grindy value deck rather than an aggressive deck. And they don't attack with Thrasios, which is interesting. That's kind of a strange choice. I mean, this is the tournament practice room, so you have to assume your opponents are good, but I don't really understand that play at all. Having Ophiomancer is really nice here because it lets me hold off Tymna pretty much indefinitely, assuming that they can't immediately kill it with a 1-mana spell, which I think in this case would have to be Swords or Path, since they don't have Fatal Push online and they're not in the colors for burn. So hopefully I can get at least one snake out of this. And they do have Swords or Path. Yep, unfortunate. And that actually means that I'll be going shields down and they'll be able to play Tymna and get value with it next turn, which is too bad. But I think that was worth the risk for the 2 cards that they might have had. Actually, they won't necessarily be able to play Tymna since they played the Abundant Growth on the black mana source. They don't have a white mana source to go with it, unless they play an untapped black or white mana source, which they do. Alright, fair enough. And naturally this will be Tymna. Yep. And this commander is just so good. Odd that they tapped Indolent Harbor here instead of Corrosive Verge. They could have potentially played a mana dork next turn, or next main phase. But I'm not going to complain about that. Alright, so we do draw a land here, so I could potentially play Garrick and fight something, but he would die to that, so I'm not going to do that obviously. I want to play Pyromancer and Bolt. I think that I'm going to Bolt now to run away from the risk of them having a counterspell. This lets them recast Tymna potentially in attack, but I can block with the token from Pyromancer, and this just seems like a better play overall. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and take the opportunity to play Bloodsoaked Champion as well. Now I'm kind of running low on gas here, having not drawn any actual card draw spells, but hopefully Shattergang Brothers can help in grinding out some card advantage. You can really see the advantage that comes from just playing your commanders and nothing else. Like, my opponent has cast 3 spells this game, or not counting Abundant Growth since it replaces itself, but only one of them has actually been a real card, so they're still at 7 cards in hand, whereas I've only cast spells from my hand. Partners are really very strong if you didn't know. Now, I'm really hoping they just recast Tymna and do nothing else here, but it looks like they're instead breaking Corrosive Verge for some plains and forest. And following that up with Rest in Peace. Okay. Well, that definitely kills Yawgmoth's Will. Shattergang Brothers can eventually get rid of that, but I'm not going to bank on that occurring. Now, happily, I can just play Garrick here and get value. Could also play Shattergang, but I'd rather get Garrick running it online. Similar to Ophiomancer, making those Death Touch tokens really puts a damper on Tymna's card advantage. Fight that Thrasios and flip. And I'm pretty sure this deck doesn't have anything with haste. I'm just going to go ahead and attack in. It's technically possible they could have Strangleroot Ghost or something, but I'm not going to change my plays based on that. Doomwake Giant. Oh boy, Okay, so it is Enchantress, as we suspected, and this will kill my board. That's unfortunate. Furthermore, it's going to continue to kill off any 1/1s from Garruk. Yeah, so I can make a Death Touching Wolf and play Shattergang. Now, unfortunately, I can't also keep up Grasp of Darkness, so if they have an enchantment... I don't know what's happening here. If they have an enchantment, they can kill the wolf, and Shattergang goes to a 2/2, and I can't profitably block, and they would be able to kill Garruk. So it might be better to just hold up Grasp here, reducing Doomwake to an 0/2 on the attack, which would save Garruk in that case. But then I wouldn't be doing anything else this turn. And I think I really need to get Shattergang online to have a chance this game. So I'm going to do so. Doomwake might just be very well positioned against my deck, and there might not be much I can do about that, unfortunately. Saving Garruk doesn't really matter if they keep having enchantments to deal with the 1/1s. And given that this is an Enchantress deck, I do foresee that occurring. For an Overwhelming Splendor. Oh boy. Yeah, I think I just lose to that. That'll kill all of my creatures thanks to Doomwake Giant, and I can't activate abilities. I'm pretty sure I'm just dead here. Yeah, okay, so I can play this, but every enchantment they have will kill the tokens, and that'll kind of just increase my clock. I think I'm just going to concede this game. There's no way I'm getting out of this. Oh, that was unfortunate. Looks like we're running it back on the rematch. Yep, same deck. No land hand, so I will mulligan. And I will keep this. Keeping the Burst Lightning as well for Tymna again. If the Dark Confidant gets to live, I'll be pretty happy. Now I'm tempted to bolt the Thrasios here. Oh, sorry, it's Burst Lightning. I can't do that to Thrasios. Only 2 damage. If it was Lightning Bolt, I think that I would, because it allows me to play Dark Confidant without having to worry about an attack next turn. As is, I think I have to keep up Burst Lightning, otherwise they'll start getting card advantage from the Tymna. Hopefully I can follow that up with an Ophiomancer to put the lockdown on the whole attack phase thing. And if they tap out for this, then I'll actually get a chance to get a snake this time. But it looks like they don't have that. Instead, they have Sylvan Library. And a tap land. Alright, well, this lets me play Dark Confidant and keep up Burst Lightning, so I'm fine with that. The alternative, of course, would be just playing Ophiomancer here, which might be better. I kind of feel like I have to start fighting with the Sylvan Library card advantage with my own card advantage, though. And yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Lead Confidant and hold up Burst Lightning. Let's see how much damage they're willing to take off the library. Looks like 4 damage. Reasonable. And there's the first Enchantress. Not like the composition of my opponent's deck wasn't obvious, but now we have confirmation. If there's like a Journey to Nowhere, I'm going to be really sad. Wheel of Sun and Moon. Okay, so this is going to be a localized Rest in Peace for me. And actually, this is going to prevent all die triggers, just like Rest in Peace would. That's feels not great, but what are you going to do? Okay, so I'm going to draw a Rakdos Signet there. Can play a tap land. And I think in this situation, I'm going to just play Ophiomancer. I want to get that snake online, and like before, don't want to get it Swords Door Pathed. Fellwar Stone is nice because it lets me unlock green. And this time they take 8 damage. That's interesting. Playing Eidolon Blossoms. Ugh, there's the double Enchantress effect that you really don't want to see. We have removal for it though, so hopefully it won't last very long. And it looks like they might be looking for lands, given that they... Oh no, there's one. They did just draw 2 here, so that could have been their motivation for taking 8 off the Sylvan Library. Discarding Aura of Silence. Kind of an interesting choice, given that they know that I have Rakdos Signet, but I'm not going to question that. Draw a Mana Dork here, which is rather nice, as well as a land. So I'm going to play that, and fetch out Taiga, I believe. Since this is now a tri-land, thanks to Urborg. Go ahead and cast the Rakdos Signet that they know about. Cast Fellwar Stone. And cast Elves of Deep Shadow, as well as Burst Lightning on the Eidolon. So this all lets me next turn cast and activate Shattergang Brothers. as well as keeping down their Enchantress advantage somewhat. It's going to be really hard for me to hold down enchantments with Shattergang, given that I don't have that many in my deck, but I can eventually eat away at their creatures and kill the Argothian Enchantress, which is otherwise kind of difficult to deal with. You'll notice the synergies with Ophiomancer and Rabblemaster making bodies every turn, as well as the Bloodsoaked Champion from last game. I'd be kind of surprised if they took 8 here again. They're getting it a little bit low. They did take 4 though. 6, could be Doomwick Giant again. Instead it's Mana Reflection. Oh boy. So this is particularly nasty with a source of card advantage like Thrasios or Argothian Enchantress. So I will like to start eating away at their creatures as fast as possible, but given that they can just keep recasting their commanders over and over again thanks to Mana Reflection, that's going to be rather difficult to do. So my strategy here, I think, is going to be to get a lot more aggressive. Not that I'm 100% sure if that's going to be enough. Okay, Skull Clamp is unfortunately kind of a dead draw thanks to Wheel of Sun and Moon. Let's think about this. I think I have to play Shattergang and activate, otherwise they start running away with both of these cards together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Correct choice here is going to be to attack with the snake first, just in case. You never know when you'll get some free damage thrown, and I think that in this case they definitely don't block. So, that's pretty free. And I'm going to go ahead and main phase that. Now, if Shattergang lives till next turn, I can start activating it twice per turn, which could potentially keep them down. But again, given Mana Reflection, I think my odds are pretty slim here, especially if they eventually draw into their Massive Humility effect, which I have to assume is what they're drawing towards. Copy Enchantment. Okay, I have to assume that's going on Mana Reflection, which I don't think works the way they want it to. Since these are both replacement effects, I think that only one of them can replace the original effect, although I could be wrong here. Which would mean that this either does nothing or taps for 4. Oh, nope, they do tap for 4. Okay, so I was wrong there. I think I was thinking that the same replacement effect can't replace an effect multiple times, which is why these don't, like, power off of each other. But they do get both of them, which is too bad. Mana quadruple is a lot of mana, it turns out. And Enchantress's Presence. Alright, well there goes any hope of beating their card advantage that I might have had. Yep, I'll concede to that. Alright, this is going to be the last video for this, or rather the last game for this video, playing against Radha, Heir to Keld. Generally a land destruction deck, pretty much always. I'm not really sure why that's the case, but it does seem to be the case. That said, I don't really want to keep this hand, although it does have a quick answer to Radha, and I'm on the play. Hard choices. If I can get to 2 lands, I think this hand becomes really good. I think I'm going to keep it. Sequencing here is going to be Pirate Spellbomb first, probably use it to draw a card if I can't find a land, and then kill their Radha with either Burst Lightning or no 1 mana dork on their side is pretty nice. I am going to try to draw that land. And this is going to go really bad really fast, it looks like. Yeah, this was probably a greedy keep, but the upside's just too good. Alright, so we've made it to 2 lands. Let's see what the most important thing to land is. I think it's going to be Rakdos Signet. That lets me cast Young Pyromancer or Bitter Blossom after they presumably kill one of my lands. Given that they don't have double red right now, it might have to be, is it Ice Quake? Thermokarst? I don't remember the green land destruction spells. Oh no, just Lotus Cobra. Okay, fair enough. Let's see if they're actually going to use the Radha mana in the combat step. I'll be impressed. Usually that doesn't actually become relevant. Seems like no. And they're just going to pass. Alright, so no third land from them, and I draw one of my own, so that's really nice. I'm thinking the correct play here is probably Smuggler's Copter plus Pyromancer, since that lets me profitably block. Seems correct. I'm going to fetch a Taiga off this Bloodstained Mire. I could also just play Shattergang, but I'd rather get one of the engines online. And I think that if they don't hit a third land soon, I'm going to run them over pretty handily. And there's the third land, bringing them up to a total of 5 mana for this turn. 5 mana is kind of the number for Plow Under or Primal Command if they have one of those. Looks like instead they're going to green Sun Zenith for 0 to get that Dryad Arbor, which pays for itself, obviously, with the Lotus Cobra, despite not tapping for mana this turn. It's a pretty sweet interaction. And Bloodbraid Elf, alright, fair enough. Cascading into Regrowth with no targets, excellent, excellent. I assume they're going to attack with Bloodbraid, and I don't think I'm actually going to block that. Trading that for a Smuggler's Copter seems kind of weak, but I will absolutely block the Radha. It's possible they weren't fully aware of how Smuggler's Copter works. These cards aren't particularly common in Commander. Of course, they could have a... yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't think there's a window for me to do that without exposing that to Lightning Bolt, but I don't really think I can just play around Lightning Bolt forever. So that's fine. If I draw a land here, oh, I do not draw a land, but I do have Ophiomancer, which should hold off the aggression pretty handily. I could alternatively just play Sword of Feast and Famine and keep up Burst Lightning, which I think I'm going to do, since the sword will pretty much be able to run through anything they could have here. It's possible I should just kill Lotus Cobra here, since that produces the most potential mana. Yeah, I think that's correct. Let's just go ahead and kill that. And I'll definitely just take 5 here. It looks like they are using the Radha mana to Beast Within a Land. That seems like a very strange choice, since I can now just block with the Beast, unless they have another Bolt effect. I'm not really sure I agree with that. I think you definitely killed the sword there, if anything, but I don't think you actually kill anything in that scenario. That's just a really strange choice overall. What do they have that's going to make this make sense? Okay, they're going to kill another land, sure. Yep, I mean, we knew this was land destruction because it's Radha, even though no one knows why Radha's always land destruction, but whatever. So I can play Ophiomancer here, or I could just equip and go to town with the sword. They'll block with Ravenous Baboons, which I think is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and just start killing their non-green creatures. They're just gonna let that hit, okay. Not sure why keeping Ravenous Baboons was more important than losing a card and me untapping, but I'm not going to complain about that either. Land Ophiomancer, and this is hopefully going to prevent any aggression they could possibly have, unless they have something like Rolling Earthquake for 3, I suppose, sacrificing their board to do it. Now, the dreams of playing Titania, or probably even Shattergang Brothers, are pretty much dashed at this point, but given what I have on board, I'm not 100% sure how they can cleanly handle this. Looks like they're convoking for Court of Calling for X equals 5. Could be Acidic Slime to, I guess, kill off another land, question mark. It is Acidic Slime, and let's see if they, yeah, okay, they did kill Sword this time. Good on them. Well, Acidic Slime does much the same for them that the snake does for me, but I'm perfectly willing to attack my beast into it at least. No blocks, fair enough. And let's go ahead and play Bitter Blossom. And the hope here is that I can hold them off with the snake token for long enough for Bitter Blossom to just sort of run away with the game. Given how many of... oh, they're just attacking alone with everything. Sure. Well, I'm definitely going to block the slime with the snake to kill it. And I think I'm going to chump the Bloodbraid Elf to conserve my life. And I'll let the rest go through. And there's Radha coming back. I'm super fine with that. Get some tokens. Dark Confidant's kind of scary because of the Bitter Blossom. I think I play it anyway, though. Yeah, it seems safe enough. I can always block with it, since they seem perfectly willing to attack into pretty unprofitable attacks, I would say. Nope, no attacks this time. So I can start gaining some sweet card advantage. And hopefully not die to my own cards. Revealing Deathrite Shaman. Alright, well that'll definitely help me not die to my own cards, given the life gain. And I can actually play Shattergang Brothers here, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and attack in with Beast and Rogue. If I'm them, I definitely block the Beast here. Yep, there's that. Now I can go Shattergang plus Deathrite. And I think that at this point, if they don't have a Rolling Earthquake style effect, the game is pretty much over. Worldly Tutor. That could be Inferno Titan, which would be bad, but not devastating. Could also be Primeval Titan, which I wouldn't really care about at all. Let's see what they've got. It is Primeval Titan. Okay, I don't really care. I'm not sure what that's doing for them here. I guess they could be getting like Thespian Stage or something. Dark Depths Thespian Stage, that is. But that doesn't really do much with Bitter Blossom Online, so I'm not sure what the play is here. Could be Valakut, I guess. Just try to get that win condition. Ooh, okay, there we go. Wolf Run, Raging Ravine. Okay, so they're going for the all-out aggro plan, which I think Titania pretty much puts a stop to, producing a nice stream of 5/3s. And Jit will kind of shut the door on aggro, I hope. Cabal Pit's also rather nice. Okay, let's see how I want to do this. I would like to play Titania this turn. However, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to exile the Taiga to produce a green. And I believe this turn I have to just pass. I should hopefully have enough toughness to eat this out. I haven't really done the math, so this could actually be pretty bad for me if I have not done the math properly. Thankfully I can throw Dark Confidant in front of whatever they're attacking with. Xenagos the Reveler. Okay, so that's going to produce a bunch of mana, I guess. Nope, just a 2/2. Okay, I'm super fine with that. If they're not going all in on the Kessig Wolfrun attack this turn, I don't think they're going to be able to do it in the future. And they're not even attacking with Primeval Titan. I don't agree with that even a little bit. You definitely want to at least, you know, get more lands to make Wolfrun work. I'm not really sure what they're aiming to do here. And I'm actually going to start using Shattergang here. They lose the Dryad Arbor, which takes away 2 of their mana, thanks to Xenagos. I don't think I have 6 drops in this deck, so I'm safe this turn at least. Thankfully drawing Barbarian Ring. So I'm going to go ahead and play the ring. I would really like to get Threshold, since that lets me make 2 more 5/3s with Titania. Let's go ahead and cast the Jit. And I'm just going to equip this to a flyer and swing in, I think. I still want to have maximum amount of toughness to protect myself from a potential all-out attack. Let's ping down Xenagos a bit. I could just kill Xenagos here. That's probably correct. Killing Xenagos prevents them from using it to get tons of mana to potentially pump into Wolfrun. And I could even kill Radha if I'm really worried. But that prevents me from doing the life gain thing. Let's see, I could kill Radha and force them to sack a creature, which puts them just on Primeval Titan. I don't think that does enough. I think I'd rather just pass. Radha adds a potential 2 damage to their Kessig Wolfrun clock, whereas I could instead just gain 4 life, which I think is a better offset. Let's see if they go for the attack here. And it looks like they are. I think they really, really needed to attack with Radha there. If they're not going to get through this turn, I think they're just dead on board. And they're definitely not going to get through this turn. Just getting 2 lands. Could have been slightly concerned about Valakut there, but not really. Okay, let's go to blocks. One interesting alternative is that I could kill both of my 2/1s, which puts, or kill one of the 2/1s actually, which puts 7 cards in the graveyard. Be able to activate both Cabal Pit and Barbarian Ring, which is kind of an interesting option. Makes 2 more 5/3s. I think that's correct. I'm going to go ahead and kill Dark Confidant. I'm going to go ahead and kill the Satyr, which I don't imagine they're going to pump. And let's go ahead and kill something else as well. Alright, so this is going to put them all in on 1 creature with the Wolfrun. And given the sheer number of blockers I have, I don't think it's going to make it. Alright, so let's do some math here. So they could tap Radha for mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Yeah, okay. So they can potentially go up to 12 So I can put that there. I'll take 3. I think I'm comfortable taking 3. I'm going to be taking 1 next turn, and I can actually gain 2 life just in case. Yeah, let's go for that. Hopefully I didn't do the math atrociously wrong. Yep, there's +6. I go to 3. And if they're not dead on board, they're pretty close to it. Yep. Whew. Tight game. Just in terms of damage. I don't think it was really close advantage-wise. I think that if this game goes long in any way, I'm very much favored. The land destruction deck really can't handle like things on the board. But, alright. That was the deck I've been working with. It's interesting. It's not really as strong as the blue control decks I've been playing before, but it's kind of a change of pace, and I like that sometimes. Well, anyway, have a good night.